My girlfriend wanted an open relationship, so I slept with her best friend. Now she's losing it. This story is titled My Girlfriend Wanted an Open Relationship, so I slept with her best friend. Now she's losing it. I'm 28, male, and up until recently, I thought I had a pretty solid relationship with my girlfriend, Sophie, 27, female. We'd been together for 3 years, living together for 2, and honestly, everything was going great. I was secretly checking out engagement rings on my lunch breaks, kind of great. We met through mutual friends at a board game night. Super normal story. She laughed at my dumb jokes, I liked how she was super competitive at Monopoly, and we just clicked. Started dating pretty much right away, got an apartment together after a year because it made sense. We were always at each other's places anyway. We had our routines, you know. Sunday morning pancakes, walking in the park after work, watching those terrible reality shows she loves while I play games on my phone. Normal couple stuff. Sophie works in marketing, I'm a project manager in construction. We both have decent jobs, good friends, and our families get along great. My mom loves her dad always invites me to watch football. We were that couple that other people said gave them hope about relationships. Yeah, I know how that sounds now. Everything was perfectly normal until last Tuesday. We were having dinner, Sophie was telling me about some work project, and I was halfway through my sandwich when she just goes, "Hey, what would you think about trying an open relationship?" I literally stopped mid-bite, fork halfway to my mouth, just frozen there. I thought maybe I heard her wrong, but nope, she kept talking about how she'd been reading about it online, how lots of couples were trying it these days, how it could help us grow individually and make our relationship stronger. Is there someone specific you want to date? I asked, because honestly, that was my first thought. Who brings up open relationships unless they've got someone in mind, right? Sophie got all defensive. No, it's not about anyone else. I just think it would be good for us to explore ourselves more. We're still young, and I don't want us to wake up in 10 years wondering what we missed out on. I sat there trying to process what was happening. This is the same girl who once got mad because a waitress smiled at me too much. Now she's talking about dating other people like she's suggesting we try a new restaurant. Have you been feeling unhappy? I asked, because maybe I'd missed something. Maybe there were signs I should have seen. Not at all, she said, reaching across the table to grab my hand. I love you, I love us. This isn't about being unhappy. It's about making our relationship even better. Think about it, we could both have new experiences but still come home to each other. Lots of couples say it makes their connection stronger. I didn't know what to say. My brain stalled somewhere between confusion and panic. My appetite completely gone, the food in front of me might as well have been cardboard. Sophie, on the other hand, was animated, practically glowing as she talked, going on about boundaries, rules, communication, but all I could think was, where's this coming from? And yet, yeah, I know this makes me sound like a complete pushover, I said okay. Not because I wanted to, not because I believed in it, but because the sheer eagerness in her eyes, the way she leaned in, practically pleading for me to be on board, made it clear she had already decided. Saying no felt like shutting a door that she had no intention of closing. Are you sure you're okay with this? She asked, all wide-eyed concern, like she was giving me a real choice. We don't have to if you're not comfortable. I looked at her, at how desperate she seemed for me to agree, and somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew this isn't really a choice. Whether I liked it or not, something was already shifting between us, and if I wanted to figure out what was really going on, I had to play along. No, it's fine, I said, forcing a nod. If you think it'll be good for us, we can try it. And just like that, I stepped into something I didn't believe in, knowing deep down I was already losing her. She got all excited, started talking about how we should set up dating app professor files together, how we should have a system for letting each other know when we have dates planned, all these details she seemed to have already thought about. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there wondering how long she'd been planning this. The rest of the night was weird. We watched TV like normal, but my mind was racing. Sophie was cuddled up next to me on the couch, acting like everything was perfectly fine, like she hadn't just suggested completely changing our relationship. I kept wanting to take it back, to tell her I wasn't actually okay with it, but I didn't know how. Every time I looked at her, scrolling through her phone with this little smile on her face, I felt more and more like I'd just made a huge mistake. That night, lying in bed, I couldn't sleep. Sophie was out cold next to me, peaceful as could be, while I stared at the ceiling, wondering what the hell I'd gotten myself into. Part of me wanted to wake her up and tell her no, that I didn't want to share her with anyone else, but another part of me was scared that if I said no, she'd do it anyway or leave me for someone else. So I lay there, running through every conversation we'd had recently, trying to figure out if there were signs I missed. Was she bored? Was I not enough? Was there already someone else? The questions kept coming, and I had answers for none of them. Little did I know, this was just the beginning of how messed up things were about to get. Things started changing the very next day. Sophie spent the whole evening setting up her Tinder and Bumble profiles, asking me to help pick photos, like this was some totally normal thing for a boyfriend to do. She even asked me to take new pictures of her. Yeah, seriously. I played along, taking photos of my girlfriend so she could look good for other guys. I tried setting up my own profile too, just to show I was making an effort, but my heart wasn't in it. Every time I tried writing a bio, it felt weird and fake. What was I supposed to write? In a relationship but looking for fun? The whole thing made me feel gross. I think that she knew that I wouldn't meet with anyone because I am not social and I don't have time or energy to meet new people, and I told her about that a couple of times. So she thought she could go into dates and keep me as a backup plan. Sophie got matches right away. Obviously, she's gorgeous and fun, but what really got to me was how fast she started meeting these guys. Within a week, she had 3 dates lined up. 3. She'd show me their profiles like we were gossiping about celebrity crushes or something. "Look at this one," she'd say, shoving her phone in my face. "He's a personal trainer at that fancy gym downtown. We're getting coffee tomorrow." And I'd just nod and try to act like this was totally cool and normal. The first time she got ready for a date, I felt sick to my stomach. She wore this black dress I'd never seen before. Yeah, she bought new clothes for this and spent like an hour doing her makeup. When she walked out of our bedroom, she did this little twirl. "How do I look?" she asked, all excited. "Great," I managed to say, while thinking about how that dress probably cost more than what she usually spends on our date nights. She came home late that night, all giggly and happy. I pretended to be asleep when she got in bed, but I heard her texting someone for like an hour. The next morning, she was humming while making coffee, acting like everything was perfect. I started paying attention to her schedule. Monday, it was coffee with the gym guy. Wednesday, dinner with some lawyer dude. Friday, drinks with a guy who owned a food truck. Yeah, the range was interesting. Each time she'd come home looking like she'd had the time of her life. I started checking the location she was tagging on Instagram. Not my proudest moment, but I needed to know what was really going on. One night, I actually drove by the restaurant where she said she was having dinner, saw her sitting at the bar with some tall guy in a suit, laughing at whatever he was saying. She had her hand on his arm, looking at him the way she used to look at me. The worst part wasn't even seeing her with these guys. It was how she changed at home. She started spending way less time with me. No more cuddles. She was always texting someone. Our Sunday pancake tradition forgotten because she was meeting the girls for brunch. I tried talking to her about it once. "Don't you think you're going on a lot of dates?" I asked, trying to sound casual. She looked at me like I was being ridiculous. "That's the whole point of an open relationship, isn't it? To meet new people and have experiences. You should try it too. I can help you with your profile if you want." But I didn't want help with my profile. I wanted my girlfriend back. I wanted the person who used to get excited about ordering pizza and watching bad movies with me, not this new version who was always dressed up and heading out the door.